So I want to thank you again for checking out the 2019 Mazda MX-5 Miata, machine gray metallic with the Auburn Napa leather inside. I'm going to go over a few different aspects of the car for you now from the outside and a couple things on the inside. Standard in your 2019 Mazda MX-5 Miatas are LED headlights, but your Grand Touring trim level we're going to give you both adaptive front lighting system, pivoting left and right as you go around corners, auto leveling, and auto high beam control. You also will notice in the 2019 Grand Touring brushed aluminum polished 17-inch alloy wheels, different than 16-inch black wheels or 17-inch black wheels in your sport and club level. Now we have a couple active safety features that's going to help you every day, and that's things that the Grand Touring's giving you wouldn't normally find in the club or sport level. This sensor up here is actually reading the lane markers on the road, looking for high beams, and will automatically turn your high beams on for you. Will automatically tell you if you're swerving out of your lane. That's your lane departure warning system and high beam control system. So safety on a vehicle of this size is paramount. Now, not just with the structural integrity using ultra high tensile steel or even employing a new thing called the Graham principle, but also things that are a little bit easier to notice yourself and you'll use every day. You'll see over here side pedestal mirrors versus pillar mounted mirrors, as well as blind spot monitoring is used radar based system. It's using radar mounted sensors to tell you in your side mirror while you're driving anytime a vehicle is in your blind spot, and visually blinking and beeping to notify you if you're switching lanes using your turn signal at that time. Mirrors being mounted to the door versus the pillar, you'll see natural front visibility advantages, actually better rear visibility advantages, and also less wind noise at highway speeds. So if you're the owner of a previous generation Mazda Miata, you're probably used to trying to figure out how do I open the fuel door. It's actually very easy now, just a little push here and it will release as long as the car is unlocked. It is still premium gas recommended, but it's perfectly fine to use regular gas based off what kind of performance you're looking for. You're also going to notice that standard in all level Mazda Miatas is LED tail lights. It's not just important to us that you can see the road yourself and see further down the road, but also people behind you can see what you're doing. Inclement weather, late at night, foggy days, whatever the case may be, we want them to have enough advance notice of your intention so that they can stop well before they get to you. You also will notice this antenna here, which is for your HD radio and satellite radio. Real cool shark fin antenna. You'll notice that there is a backup camera down here now built directly into the bumper. And if you're wondering how do I open the trunk, there's a small button right down here that will release it. So your trunk is actually specifically designed to accomplish a couple tasks. One, gotta be able to carry an overnight suitcase. Two, you'll see indentions here that allow you to carry a cooler. You will notice in here as well these two pieces here. This actually is your owner's manual, you're probably very familiar with, but the part behind it is your fix-a-flat or tire repair kit. Basically, it's a mechanical pump that will repair the tire for you when needed. So when you're buying a Mazda Miata, generally your importance of it is it's a convertible. Well, with the power retractable Fastback, you've got a stunning looking vehicle when the top is up, but also a top that goes down in less than 13 seconds. It's actually very simple. As long as the car is in neutral or parked or driving at speeds under 7 miles per hour, you can actually put your top down very simply by grabbing this lever right here and holding it. Top is down, you'll notice that the Fastback stays up. You'll hear a beep to let you know it's completed. You also have a visual display here in your clusters that will tell you when the top is completed. So storage is a premium in this vehicle. You do have your glove box now moved in between the two seats. And in the hard top, you have one more of these that's actually behind the passenger seat. Two of them in the soft tops. So cup holders actually are a pretty good aspect of the Mazda Miata. You have two that are sitting right here now, but if you like, you can very easily remove that one and move it here. And if you're like me, you can actually order a third one so that you can have all three spots at one time if you like. Or if you're a true enthusiast, it's very easy to have no cup holders. So the Grand Touring 2019 Mazda MX-5 Miata does upgrade you to automatic air conditioning system with also driver and passenger heated seats. Not just burn and don't burn, you do have high, medium, and low for both seats. Automatic AC is very simple. You can turn it to whatever temperature you would like to have here. Set it to automatic for your fan speed and even automatic for where the air conditioner is blowing at any specific time. So Mazda thinks about everything when it comes to designing the car. Not just what kind of engine do you have and how does it drive, but also the placement of things. You'll notice that you have more buttons on the left side of your steering wheel than the right. You do have on your left side Bluetooth, volume controls, vehicle information controls that are displayed here, and also your answer and ignore buttons for your phone. The right side are things you're doing typically less often, which is important in a manual transmission, which is going to be your cruise control. Turn it on and off, very simple and very easy. You do have both automatic lights, automatic high beams, and automatic windshield wipers. So Mazda actually very big with ergonomics, as I mentioned before. We want to make sure that driving this is easy, but also that it's safe. So you'll notice that things are put in places that are easy to access, and that's where your command and control comes in. You can do everything you need to do with your stereo, with your navigation system, without actually looking off the road. And that's what you'll notice here with the simplicity of this design. 5 physical buttons that always do the same thing: music, home, navigation, back, and favorites. You get to the point where you don't need to look at them in order to navigate them. You also notice that this toggle here works the way we're used to, toggling left and right and up and down, but also twisting to go between selections that you're looking for. And a smaller knob here, which is for changing the volume on the stereo or muting the stereo. So hopefully you've already watched my video on the Mazda Connect system and you're familiar with how to navigate this system. But I'm going to go into it just real quickly here in the Miata, just so you can see that real time and to see things that may differ from this vehicle to the other. So obviously you start at communication, and pushing down will automatically access pairing your phone. Very simple, very easy process. Making calls, also very easy. Music we'll get into in just a moment, but you'll notice that you do have all your normal things. Your Bose, your bass, your treble, all the things over to the far right under settings. And you can see right from here I can change and tweak those. Bose Audio Pilot, if you're not familiar with it, is one of my favorite features and an unsung hero in our stereo system. We're obviously used to changing speed while driving, and when doing that you have more outside noise. Bose actually has a system that will actually listen for those noises and change every one of your speakers different to compensate for that. So that's a great feature to turn off if it's not already on. Safety, you do have 3 options over here that you can access. Smart City brake support, which will stop you in a low-speed driving scenario from hitting the vehicle in front of you. Blind spot monitoring, which you could deactivate or change the volume alert system. Lane departure warning system, which allows you to change how does it alert me. Is it an audible beep or is it a rumble strip? Is that warning loud? Does it tell me before I switch lanes or as I'm merging out of the lane? You get to change those settings and tweak them to what fits your preferences. And then traffic sign recognition, which is also new for 2019, using that same system that you're using for your lane departure warning system to read traffic signs, telling you the exact speed limit on the road, telling you if you're hitting a stop sign or yield sign. You'll get those alerts, and you can now change the threshold. So do I want it to alert me every time I'm speeding, or just when I'm 5 miles over the speed limit, 10 miles over the speed limit? Is it both visual or and audio, or just visual? You can change those settings yourself. Very easily going back to the home screen, and now I can access my navigation. Now, new for 2019, you have the option of Apple CarPlay, so you can actually upgrade and have that added to your vehicle, changing one of your USB ports down here, giving you a full fast charging port, but also giving the option of using not just your factory navigation, but Apple navigation, Google navigation, and Waze navigation. Mazda navigation is very similar to your Garmin systems, done by Navtech. You have a very easy system to navigate and access. You can very easily add a destination here, whether it's finding an address, navigating home, or a point of interest near a destination, along your route, or near where you're starting at. Favorites are very easy to get to, and hey, if you're that type of person, you can even use geo coordinates. Adding an address is very simple. Clicking find address, type it in the city. It should automatically default to your state. What city are we in? Roswell's already realized that for us. The name of the street, which is very simple and very easy to input. It is predictive, so you will find that you won't have yourself putting in addresses too often, taking forever. You can type on the screen if you like, but then you get fingerprints, so using the command and control is my preferred way of doing it. And then easily putting in the address of your location. Now when you put in an address, it's going to take you to this screen here, and I can easily navigate to that destination. I can look at that destination on the map. I can find point of interest nearby, or save that as a favorite. If I click navigate to, it'll bring up a second screen. Same thing, allow me to quickly start that route. Look at the route on the map. Change route options. Change alternative routes. Pick specific places to avoid. Look at a turn-by-turn list if I'd like to figure out where I'm going and when am I turning. And even watch a video simulation of the route.
Take the next right.
So a very advanced system if you'd like to use it. You can, of course, speed up the simulation if you're going on an 8-hour trip. Probably don't want to sit here for 8 hours and watch your trip. You can speed that up if you'd like to do so. Now your setting system is very advanced as well. You can come in here and tweak pretty much everything. Your display, which is this one here, you can turn it completely off. I can turn it off leaving the clock visible. I can change it from auto, day or night. I can adjust the brightness, so if I am in, for example, night mode, I can change it to be a little bit brighter, so it's a little more visible at night. Same as I can make it a little more dim if I want to use day mode. Generally, I recommend change day and night to whatever you prefer, then turn it to automatic and let it change itself. Contrast, and of course, if you mess with it and don't know what you changed, restore factory settings. This here is when you really specifically want to know the difference between toggling on your command and control and twisting. In your menu here, you will toggle specifically between menus, going from display to safety that we've already discussed, from safety to sound, which we've already discussed, to clock, which if you have navigation is synced off your GPS, vehicle, where you can change a lot of settings. I can deactivate rain sensing windshield wipers. Even though I have that option here on the column stock, I can completely deactivate it here. I can change how my automatic doors will lock, whether they're locking when I start driving, whether they're locking when I change the ignition, which is different based off automatic or manual, or whether it locks at all. I can change how loud the key lock volume is, which I recommend having on high, especially as you're new to the car, because I'm going to set it up to lock automatically when you walk away. Now you do have a setting here for unlock mode. Generally it's set for your safety setting, which is hitting the button one time on your key or your driver's door unlocks just that driver's door. Hitting it twice unlocks both doors. You can change that, however, if you prefer, where one button press will unlock all doors at once. Your preference, obviously, on which one you want. Turn signals is pretty straightforward. 3 flash turn, if you're familiar with it, allows you to lightly tap the turn signal, making it blink 3 times, versus what you normally would do, which is putting it all the way down and blinking until you've made an aggressive enough turn. You can change how loud your turn signal is if you're the type of person who gets a little annoyed at that. Lighting is where you have the most options here, where you'll see interior light timeout, both for door open and door closed. Your setting for turning on and off the high beam control. Your setting for turning on and off adaptive front lighting system. Light on volume is when you've deactivated the automatic lights. It will have an annoying beep that you'll hear to remind you that you didn't turn your lights off. Headlight off timer. If you park in a garage versus outside of a townhouse, you may find that you prefer to have that light stay on longer or shorter in certain instances. You can change that. Coming home and leaving home light, they're specifically designed to, when you get close with your advanced key system, turning on the light so that it's welcoming you to your vehicle. And when you exit a vehicle, staying on for a certain period of time, again allowing you to exit the vehicle, get into your door or entryway, without still having a little bit of illumination from the car. Daytime running lights are what you would normally think were the fog lights up front. They will turn on if you're driving during the day in a situation where you do not need your headlights. And you can adjust how sensitive your automatic lights are. Are they going to come on when it gets dark early, or is it when it's really dark outside? You can change the sensitivity to be whatever you prefer it to be. And that is your settings for your Mazda Connect system.